You can listen to The Professional Left wherever you get your podcasts, on Netroots Radio, or at our website, proleftpod.com, where you can also contribute to this podcast. There's a PayPal button at our website, or you can mail us a letter and or contribution at Post Office Box 9133, Springfield, Illinois, 62791. It's The Professional Left with Driftglass and Blue Gal.
This meeting is being recorded. Okay.
Yes.
This meeting is being recorded.
You signed your release form, right? You signed all the paperwork.
We didn't do that. Well, we'd like to welcome.
I did, yeah.
The amazing Charlie Pierce to the Professional Left podcast. We have many, many questions for you today. But first up, how are you holding up?
How am I holding up what?
The Earth and democracy. How
am I holding up? How am I holding up the Earth? Well, I'm beginning to wonder if the whole exercise isn't fueled up.
How do you think this week has changed? Do you think it's changed any trajectories or what long-term impact?
Well, my whole feeling has been from the start. Look, if you guys want to create a martyrdom cult around this guy, feel free to go do it. I mean, I don't care. Just don't drag the rest of the country into it.
Yeah. And also don't be afraid then to post everything he's ever said.
Well, that's our thing. That's
right.
what I mean. Don't react when you keep your martyrdom cult, insulated, within itself. But don't be like getting people fired because they posted stuff that he'd actually said.
Yep.
And that's what's happening right now. I mean, it is McCarthyism, but it's got a martyrdom twist to it, which is you're insufficiently mournful of this person that we didn't like and just observe from a distance.
Once he said a sentence about cooling down the rhetoric, saying that Martin Luther King was a bad guy. I've maintained in a couple of places that the closest parallel to what happened in Utah was the killing of Alan Berg in 1981.
Oh,
by the white supremacists.
Right.
I don't know if anybody even remembers that, but I do.
Yeah. The movie with Eric Bogosian, I think, is that right?
Oh, Talk Radio. Yeah.
Yeah. It was loosely based on that.
In fact, my son was in a production of that play in high school.
Really?
Wow.
We did. A funny thing happened all the way to the forum. So way to go.
Yeah, he played the engineer, the radio engineer.
Wow.
I've been kind of impressed, though, with the rapidity with which places like the National Review have hammered back at Pam Bondi's anti-hate speech dictions.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much inherent respect they ever had for Pam Bondi, but it's nice to hear. I mean, these are people who, I give them credit for consistency. They've been opposed to hate speech laws forever.
Yes.
Basically a lot of them because they wanted to, drop N-bombs the way their grandfathers did.
Yeah.
But at the very least, they're being consistent now.
Yeah.
Which is something.
I mean, the Massachusetts Teachers Association came out against local school boards who've been suspending teachers for social media comments on the thing.
Yeah.
On their personal social media. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I hope the Mass teachers can stand the gap that's going to be coming, because it is. Even here, we have local nutballs who will raise hell. But it's been a very, very strange couple of weeks, and meanwhile, China is not buying our soybeans anymore.
Right.
The Caribbean is a free fire zone. We don't have any idea what's going on with the Epstein files. And Kash Patel is running around Capitol Hill acting like a nut.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which of these is the distraction and which one is the crisis is my question.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do when everything is a distraction?
Yeah. Yeah. When everything explodes all at once. Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw Patel in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee yesterday.
Yeah.
But I mean, Chuck Grassley had to, wake himself from petrification to tell he and Adam Schiff to quiet down.
Yeah.
It's nap time. Everybody quiet. No, he lost his mind. But I got the distinct impression, because I watched it too, that this is a man who's drowning trying to save his job. I think he's sensing that he's bungled the recent the Kirk case. Yeah.
I mean, my God, if I was the state prosecutors in Utah, I'd be downing a fifth of bourbon every morning now.
Every day.
Yeah. The people in Washington can't stop screwing their case. They're going to have to change venue to Mars.
Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely.
The governor of Utah has ruined the prosecution.
Yeah. The governor of Utah, the head of the FBI, the president's going to screw up, and already has, saying, you're saying that the accused criminal should get the death penalty. You remember Nixon said that about Charlie Manson.
Absolutely.
Another Charlie. Let's be frank about it. Another Charlie. So.
Yeah, I know. I have to be careful of that. I used to have just Charlie Brown and the tuna and the guy who did Good and Plenty, and that was bad enough when I was in grammar school. But now I got this guy and Charlie Manson.
But you also have Charlie Bucket on your side, who's a noble character who owns a chocolate factory.
That's true. He is the hero. And unfortunately, I also have Charlie X from Star Trek.
Yeah, that's a shame. Well, good guy to have in your corner. Bad guy to be mad at you.
Tell us three things you think those of us who consider ourselves in the Democratic base need to do leading up to the midterm. And I'm talking about voters and activists, not congressmen. Voters and activists. What do we need to do?
Well, obviously, find a candidate and get behind them and work. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the first one. That might be the first two, actually, finding a candidate and work. I, for one, am now completely fascinated by the guy in Maine who's the oyster farmer.
Yes.
Who's going to run against Susan Collins.
Yes.
And apparently the governor is not going to run. So his field is a little clearer than it was a couple of weeks ago. They've been trying to get Janet Mills to run, and she's apparently doesn't want to. Wants to be governor. Well, some of these people are more suited to be executives than they are to be, junior senators.
Right.
I mean, I think, I think basically the problem with it is you've got to do it and keep your eye on what's going on in Washington. Because if the Democratic minority folds, in any real way, then, your work is going to be twice as hard on the grassroots.
What do you mean by folding?
Well, I mean, if they essentially agree to it, apparently they've already shot down Mike Johnson's preliminary CR that was going to extend.
Oh yeah, the CR that they wanted.
Going to keep the budget going to November 21st. Jeffries and Schumer have both said that's the OA, so that's good for them. If there's an indication that they're going to sell, the funding, the funding bill for a bag of magic beans like they did the last time, then you're going to have trouble selling, either independents or people who don't vote on voting for a Democrat.
So
I don't think people vote. I don't think people vote to create congressional majorities.
Right.
I don't think they think that far in advance.
No.
And the ramifications of having a congressional majority. We can, block Supreme Court nominations, or we can investigate people in the House. I don't believe people vote that way.
Nope.
Some of them, I mean, people in our business maybe vote that way. And people who, drown in the news 24/7 might vote that way. I'm not sure the average voter votes that way. But I mean, I could be wrong in this case because, the national issues are so dire. But generally, I don't think people vote that way.
Politico yesterday said that Democrats, their line in the sand is extending the ACA subsidies. And that they will shut down the government. They will shut down the government.
Extending them for how long? Extending them
year.
for how long? That's
A year.
The agreement
no.
is a
See,
year.
that's
Right?
a bag of magic beans. You
Yeah.
need them extended for at least 5 years and possibly permanently. Otherwise, there's no deal.
Yep.
Because after a year, after a year, that gets the Republicans past the midterms, and if they
Right.
manage to hang on, they'll just kill them then.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't trust these people.
No,
You
that's
cannot trust these people.
There you go. That's the key. You cannot trust these people at all, and you have to treat them like that all the time.
Right.
And I keep hearing like there's an outfit called Searchlight that has $10 million behind it that is all about let's move further to the right.
Let's stop talking about
Oh
LGBT.
God, no, not another one.
Yeah.
Not another one, really.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Seems to be a bottomless pit of money for
There's
centrism.
if like serious liberalism could get like 30% of the money that gets put behind centrist organizations that never deliver, we'd all be much better off.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the
third
other
way,
bad.
no labels. I don't have to. I don't have to pick them
Don't
out
forget
for you.
America Party.
Yeah.
Elon Musk's
Oh,
America.
the American Party. That's the American Party. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, don't forget the Forward
no.
Party, Andrew
Forward.
Yang's party,
Andrew
Forward
Yang's
Party.
Forward Party. Yes. Yes.
I don't discuss Andrew Yang because he still owes me $1,000.
Ah.
Well,
all right.
My vote was for sale, and he couldn't promise me my $1,000 because he couldn't promise me he'd get elected. So the hell with him. I don't trust him.
We had an honored ambassador from the centrist universe here in our little town over the last week. Our local radio station WMAY, which is well below the radar, hosted a guy named Chuck Todd, who came in to talk about politics.
No!
Yes, and I listened.
Chuck Todd is doing like local radio now.
Yeah, well, he's got a podcast. He's got to pimp that podcast. So yeah, he's making the rounds of because, and here's the fun part: no one's watching. Nobody is paying any attention to what he's saying, other than the people who listen to this crap all day long. And this is the station that also syndicates Brian Kilmeade and Clay Travis and Hannity. So nobody but those people are listening to it. And he was on there pitching centrism and Democrats need to do this and both sides are to blame. And, Matthew Dowd said this terrible thing, got him fired. And isn't that awful? And then he came through with, I hear a lot from conservatives that the mainstream media is against them. And it's true. Basically, there is a giant liberal media conspiracy and the mainstream media is in on it. So you have every reason to feel like aggrieved and put upon. And I'm like, and it was just one of those after another. So this doesn't go away, but it's happening at the ground level where nobody's paying any fucking attention to it.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
I mean, I had no idea Chuck Todd had a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
You'd have
There's
to
the problem.
put me on the rack. You'd have to put me on the rack to get me to listen to it. But
is it called the Chuck Pod? I think it's called the Chuck Pod.
The Chuck Podcast or something like that. It's Todd Pod something. I don't know.
Oh God!
I do know this that our giant podcast brothers and sisters at the Crooked Media People and at the Bulwark both have him on and greet him like an old lodge brother. Hey, brother, how you doing? Oh, everything's fine. And I guarantee you, they will never ask him about what he said on local radio in Springfield, Illinois, because it blows his whole gig. So he clearly, when he's out in the wild, he really is that guy. And
and I was struck by this when that awful Ezra Klein piece appeared.
Yes,
about Charlie Kirk doing politics the right way.
He did.
Yeah.
I realized that Drifty's like third commandment. There's a club and you don't belong to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we have to come to grips with the fact that there's a junior auxiliary.
Yeah.
And it contains people like Ezra Klein and Matt Iglesias and the Crooked Media guys.
Yep.
And, there's another generation of them coming up.
Well, and I think this is the problem with Charlie Kirk. And this is the problem that mainstream media has with Charlie Kirk, which is they shook his hand at Politicon. And so he's a colleague, he's a friend, he's somebody that we drank with. He's somebody that we caroused with. And so it's very hard then to not be, traumatized by his death, of course, which all of us should be traumatized by a vision of violence like that.
Yeah,
At the same time, you are compromised in talking about him because it is a club and you're in the same club.
yeah. I apparently at Politicon, John Fugelsang refused to shake his hand.
Yeah.
He came over to make nice, and Cardinal Fugelsang, delivered anathema to him.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
The power of Christ compels you.
But there are way too many people who will shake hands with a white nationalist if he's got $12 million.
Right. And if he seems like a good guy.
Right.
Yeah. He comes up
we're just debating. We're just exchanging thoughts. And that was his whole gig, was let's just debate whether I have rights and bodily autonomy. Let's debate that. And it's not okay.
And I mean,
well, I know that.
And go ahead.
I'm just going to say that back at your stomping ground, Karen Attia got done dirty by the Post because she, said things that you're not supposed to say about Charlie Kirk. Yeah,
which was basically quoting him.
Yeah. That's the great sin.
That's what she got caught at. She got caught quoting him. And, democracy dies in broad daylight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So do you think that the ACA subsidies extension for 5 years is enough to ask for, to demand?
I don't actually. But it's a compromise I might be willing to make.
Okay.
So the government doesn't shut down. Although I'm not entirely. I mean, if I could be sure, if I could trust my brethren in the elite political media, I don't consider myself part of them. But if I could trust them to interpret the shutdown as to what it really was, then I'd feel better about it. But I think gambling on a shutdown based on the fact that the Republicans will get blamed for it, I think that's a sucker's bet right now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
First of all, the Democratic Party is not prepared to message that at all. Right. And second of all, I don't know that the people who full-time cover it will accept the message anyway.
No. Yeah. There's no system. There's no delivery system for that at all.
No delivery system.
Yeah. And that's a great big shame. And it's something.
5 years is my floor.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
My compromise position would be 10, and obviously my goal would be forever.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't start whittling away the Affordable Care Act because it will never stop.
Well, and I agree with Republicans who are mad about throwing money at insurance companies. The answer to that is a public option.
Yeah, at a minimum. Medicare for all. And hey, I'm going on Medicare in 3 weeks, so I'm all for.
But then Zombie Joe Lieberman will rise from the grave and go stomping around, and nobody wants that. So
arm in arm with Zombie Joe Manchin, who's not in the grave yet, but he's still out there, and he's got a book coming out soon called Dead Center, I believe.
Center.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. No. I'm afraid so.
No. Another one I'm not going to read. Thank you very much.
I know that you have a great fondness for a person named Elizabeth Warren. I believe she's from your state.
Yes.
And
yes, I do.
We're not allowed to wish her to be president because she's all yours. We can't have her.
No, you're not allowed to take. Well, originally I said she shouldn't be president because I want to keep her as my senator, but she wants it. She ran for it, so I was okay with that. But.
Okay, all right, because I think we got one of those.
I was okay.
There he goes.
I'm sorry.
He's back, baby. What? He's back. No, we got one of those in our state named J.D. Vance. No, J.B. Pritzker. That's his name. J.B. Pritzker.
I like. He scared the president.
He did. It can be done.
He scared the president, in the immortal words of Matt the Hoople, all the way to Memphis.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Absolutely. And we still have ICE agents here, and there's still bullshit going down. But he really did say, "Here's my line. If you cross it, I will fuck you up." Yeah. And he backed down. And it's like, guys.
And by the way, I have more money than you do.
Yeah. And I actually have more power than you do inside this state. I can make things happen.
Yeah.
I liked how he also threatened other Midwest governors and said, I will remember if you send troops to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to send, like you did to D.C., Ohio tries to send National Guard troops to Chicago, I will remember that.
Yeah. And the only threat on his horizon is hilarious because Darren Bailey has announced that he's going to run again
For governor.
the governor, the Republican governor of Illinois, and he got mopped last time, and we're all just like,
yay! Isn't there a doomed and futile effort to impeach Pritzker in the legislature?
Oh my, yes, and it's very exciting. Yes, it's being led by Chris Miller and some guy whose last name I can't pronounce, and the WGN write-up of it is excellent because the WGN write-up of it begins and ends with, and the rest of the Republicans in the legislature think these guys are nuts, right?
Yep.
So this is just because we have our own mini Freedom Caucus.
Freedom Caucus.
And one of the leaders...
Does it have like stationery and...
it has everything. They have all the things. But one of the leaders of the Freedom Caucus in Illinois is Chris Miller. And Chris Miller is the husband of Mary Nazi Miller, who is the lunatic congressperson from that district. So they're a husband and a wife team of lunatics, and they're both aware that this is a futile effort, but they're like, his divisive language cannot stand.
Vile.
Wait a minute. They're going to impeach him over stuff he said?
Yes, the vile language.
The vile, and I thought the most recent Trump lawsuit against the New York Times was the most ridiculous lawsuit of the week.
Oh no, you got it. And even at local radio, which I do listen to, local Republican people on the right-leaning, very right-leaning people on the radio. There's nothing but them, by the way. That's all we have here.
Yeah.
When they talk among themselves in front of a microphone, they're saying, basically, there's nobody can beat J.B. Pritzker. Mm-hmm. We got no bench in this state. We don't have enough firepower to do anything. We appreciate someone throwing themselves on that grenade, but there's nobody can beat J.B. Pritzker, which is like excellent. He doesn't have to worry about that. Is it too early to start discussing seriously the midterms? And if people like this little professional left podcast of ours, or even big movers like Stephanie Miller, what can we do to improve the chance? Because there's a lot of people who want Democrats should fight less, Democrats should fight more, they should fight harder, they should compromise. There's a blast of messages out there, and if you're dealing with voters who are not savvy and just want things to get better, what do you focus on? How do you deal with them, and how do you get them to the polls? If you're like us, how can we help? What can we do to help, I guess?
Oh, I don't think there's any question that the situation in the country is so dire that you have to fight. I mean, you don't necessarily have to burn things down, but people like to feel like they're part of something, and they like to feel like they're part of something powerful. Mm-hmm. So, give them a message that they can feel like they can carry forward on their own. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is, but you cannot. I mean, they have. I don't know how the Democrats do this. If the evidence isn't clear by now, you cannot work with the Republican Party. The Republican Party has lost its goddamn mind.
Right.
And it's not going to get it back. I don't know what's going to come out of this. And one of the things that I quasi admire the Bulwark guys for doing is admitting that.
Yes.
That the current iteration of the Republican Party is not supportable. It's going to have to be torn down and built back up brick by brick. Now, the problem with them, of course, is I think the Democrats do too. And on odd days, I feel that way too. I'm trying to think of a way to say this. Whatever you do, you can't be mushy now.
Right.
You cannot be, you have to be strategic in your campaign, obviously, but you can't position yourself or allow yourself to be positioned as believing nothing or believing everything. Mm-hmm. It's really not a kumbaya moment.
No.
As much as we want it to be. Elections are not kumbaya moments. They're very rarely. They were, I think, in 1976, and I think they were in 2008.
Yes.
But I don't think those come along that often, and they really don't come along that often in local congressional elections.
Yeah.
I don't think. If you're watching now, I think that one of the salient questions about the midterms is, what's making all of these Republicans retire?
Yep.
Are they retiring because they're just sick of being in the house with these people, or are they retiring because they think they'll get beat in a primary? If they're retiring because they think they'll get beat in a primary, that's a real opportunity.
Yep.
Yes.
Because some of these guys, you have to be really nuts to get to the right of some of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're afraid somebody can successfully get to their right, then the Democrats have an opportunity to paint the entire Republican Party as extremist.
Good point.
So I think that one of the interesting things would be to examine the reason why, there aren't many Democrats retiring this time, but there are a lot of Republicans and good. And, Joni Ernst was no less a savant than Luke Russert said on election night in, I don't know, it was 2014 or whatever, when Joni Ernst got elected, that she was the crown jewel of the New Republicans. And what'd she do? She's lasted one term.
Yeah. Gone.
Yeah.
And now she's gone for reasons that I suspect there are reasons within reasons on that one. But no, I think if you can demonstrate that these guys are retiring, not because they're tired of not getting anything done in Washington, but because they're afraid they're going to get primaried out of their office, that's a real opportunity to me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What do you think of Mamdani?
I love the guy. I love the guy. The guy, I love seeing natural political talent. This is one of the reasons why I've been an AOC fan for as long as I have. Back in my sports writing days, I was lucky enough to see Michael Jordan play college basketball.
Wow.
I love to see, and AOC has Jordan-level political skills.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, she really does, including judgment. And I think Mamdani does, too. Now, I don't know enough about New York politics to know whether he can get any of this stuff done.
Right.
But I know that no one's going to beat him. And I certainly know that Cuomo's not going to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
The last I heard of Curtis Lewa, he was doing a talk show with Ron Kuby.
Jesus Christ.
A local talk show in New York with Ron Kuby. Is he still wearing the beret, by the way?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It's gray now, as we all are. But yeah, no, he's in it to win it, and that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, because I can't think of a more universally loathed political figure, except for J.D. Vance, than Cuomo.
He's doing great. He's doing, and he has a podcast too. So like all the big winners.
Has he cracked double digits in the Democratic polls yet?
No, and never is gonna. No.
I mean, Mamdani's doing. He's having festivals around the city.
Exactly.
He's doing really good Happy Warrior stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And and like I said, can he get anything of what he's promising done? Within the city government of New York, I have no idea because I don't know enough about the politics there.
Mm-hmm.
But I suspect there are people who will try to gum things up. Community groceries in food deserts.
Yes.
Right.
Who the hell's opposed to that?
Right.
It's basic. It's food and transportation, and that's what he's promising. Food and transportation. Yeah. It's as basic as you get.
The ability to get New Yorkers out of their homes and onto the streets to do a history of New York scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. That to me was brilliant.
Means that he will motivate people to call their city councilman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's going to take for him to get. I'm like you. I don't know enough about New York City politics. I know from Driftglass a lot about Chicago politics.
Yeah.
And if you know who your alderman is in Chicago,
yeah,
and you get their office on the phone, and enough people get their office on the phone and tell them we're mad enough about this, water leak or whatever the street issue is or whatever, something gets done.
Yes.
So I think Tommy is going to have to do grassroots politicking throughout not only through the campaign, but throughout his mayorship.
His 4 tenures as mayor, let's say that.
4 tenures as mayor to make sure his people contact their local alderman or
Yeah, I mean, one thing, and the other thing he can't do is do what Obama did, which is to lock up his organization for his own purposes.
Yeah,
right.
If he wants help on the city council, he's going to have to, he's going to have to turn loose some of his mailing lists and some of his money and some of his contributors and some of his grunts to work for candidates
in a quid pro quo.
Right.
Yes.
You will get done what I need to get done. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's what you learned from Driftglass.
Yeah.
The
mayor.
I'm the mayor.
The mayor. I'm the man on the fifth.
The mayor.
Honestly, it's not quite the same, but it does remind me a little bit of the Harold Washington campaign, which was an insurgent
I was just about to say that.
And it was it was a happy campaign. It was joyful. It was like, we're going to win this thing and it's going to be fucking awesome. And they did. And then there was, the whole council thing. But it was this really ebullient, clearly enjoying his job, enjoying doing his job, and loved meeting people and loved interacting with the hoi polloi. And that you got to have that.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, it was a reaction against, 40 years of I don't know what you'd even call it, bossism, I guess.
Yeah.
And just as I think Mamdani is a reaction to the fact that they've had, 3 consecutive mayors who were incompetent in their own way.
Or corrupt.
Rudy and not necessarily corrupt. De Blasio was just a terrible mayor.
Yeah.
I don't think he was corrupt.
But I think there's some money in some potato chip bags that is not looking good for
Eric. Yeah.
Eric Adams and there was a fake headline on Blue Sky today about Eric Adams attacks Mamdani for not meeting the needs of Turkey. Something to that effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. At least the Nixon people use brown envelopes for the cash.
Yeah,
well, that's how you do it.
How cash strapped is Eric Adams's campaign that he has to use like discarded potato chip bags?
Yeah.
It doesn't look real from the outside.
Yep.
It looks like some kind of weird cosplay of, I don't know, Daredevil done stupidly with comic actors. Because I remind myself that behind every crappy candidate, there are thousands or millions of voters who put them there, and reaching those people is the job of the next generation, I think. And also, it's Mamdani looks and sounds and acts like my kids, our stepkids. Yeah. He's their candidate of their generation.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of them, and they function differently than you and I do, and they're very clear about what they want and what they'll tolerate. And it's wonderful.
So let's talk a little bit about generational politics. All 3 of us are in the older range, and Driftglass.
We are in the older demographic. Yes,
older demographic. I saw a meme the other day about it's sad that there are 3 men in their 70s, Trump, Netanyahu, and Putin, who are running the world to stay out of jail.
Yeah, I think that's the salient point. It's not that they're in their 70s; it's that they're all crooks.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I don't know if Putin's running to stay out of jail. I think he's running to stay out of Switzerland, or Dubai, or wherever he's going to flee with all the money he has.
With all the money.
Yeah.
And Trump got quite huffy with a reporter yesterday asking about crypto and his family, and said, "Hush,
hush now,
hush now."
Oh yeah, there was that giant New York Times piece that I wrote about today that I only today finished processing enough to write about this obvious conflict of interest deal with the Emirates, which is an obvious quid pro quo, which involves that guy Witkoff. I don't know what the hell he does.
Yeah,
and David, not David Gates. That's the guy from Bread. David Sachs. David Sachs, the venture capitalist guy, who apparently was the bagman for the emir. I think the world could probably do without the Emirates for a while too. By the way,
yeah,
I'm just saying.
We just watched Only Murders in the Building.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And it's a fun show, and the actors are all good. and I will only spoil a little bit of it. It involves billionaires.
Yes, it involves billionaires. Yeah.
And there is a moment when you realize, oh, billionaires play an entirely different game than everyone else.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw Inception. There's a moment in Inception where the Ken Watanabe character, I believe, says, "I just bought the airline. That seemed easier."
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and
They were worried about scheduling a plane, and Ken Watanabe says, "I just bought the
I
airline."
just bought the airline.
Right.
And, oh, okay. That's what you can do with that money. And
Yeah.
I think there's really, this time cries out for Teddy Roosevelt, because there is such a staggering gap between the very wealthy and everybody else.
Yeah.
And their priorities are no longer the priorities of my species. They're completely off on a different place, and they have the authority and the clout to do almost anything they want.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're looking at people like Larry Ellison and Peter Thiel.
Yeah.
And they want to, remake. I mean, their ambitions are no different than any other billionaire robber barons. They want to control everything.
Right.
They also want to do so through completely anti-democratic means. And they've got enough money to buy enough people to thanks to the Supreme Court and the destruction of both voting rights and campaign finance reform, that the people who are essentially controlling the political agenda, at least in Washington, they don't have any loyalty to anybody except their donors.
No.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as party discipline anymore.
No.
I mean, you get one phone call from Peter Thiel, you don't need your state Republican Party anymore.
No.
We have a little side project called Science Fiction University.
Yep.
Where we break down science fiction novels and plots and things like that. And one of the ones we refer to from time to time is The Space Merchants.
Yes.
By Fred Pohl and C.W. Kornbluth. This was 1950 something or other.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Earth when the advertising companies have taken over everything. Everything.
Oh.
And you no longer have senators from states or congressmen from districts. You have literally the senator from Exxon, the congressman from Kelvinator. And it's all voting is ad valorem based on how much money you have. And the least powerful person in the universe is the president of the United States, who's there kept as like a figurehead.
Yeah.
But everything is literally sponsored by a corporation, and you cannot escape it. And this was written by a couple of guys who advertising experience in the 50s. And I look at our Congress now, I go, this is them.
Yeah.
Especially Republicans. Democrats are not clean on this, but Republicans really are just straight up, whatever the billionaires tell us to do is what we'll do.
There are Democrats in positions of power who are not clean on it.
Exactly.
That's and I think that's the problem with the Democrats. And that's where all the centrist talk comes from.
Yeah.
I think anyway.
One of the things that I've point out on the podcast regularly is that when money becomes speech, money becomes the only speech.
Right.
And as Chris Hayes has pointed out on his shows many times, Republican base voters hate Citizens United.
Yes.
They feel just as disenfranchised by it as we do.
Right. They just find worse outlets for it.
Yes. Right.
Well, and we are, I hate that all three of us, I'm afraid, are always going to be the worst alternative, no matter what happens. They've spent a lot of time and money making sure that you can get right to the threshold, right to the door, say you're going to leave, and they point out, you're going to go out there with the Democrats? They're baby killing monsters. They're scum. Yeah. And that's so wired into so many brains at this point that it is literally unthinkable for them to...
One might even use the phrase reprogrammable meatbags.
One might wish that one had trademarked that before it became common, like dumpster fire. Well,
like
one might wish
fire.
One might have made $1 off of that or two. I'm not.
It's like my friend Tom Bonk, who was writing for the Houston paper and used the phrase "Phi Slamma Jamma."
Oh, geez.
And then let it go. And anyway, we all have opportunities. We all have opportunities we've missed.
We do.
But you're right. I mean, I don't think that the average base Republican voter feels any more franchised in his government
No.
than we do. I don't.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any connecting with them because they're reprogrammable meat bags. But I think the phenomenon is true.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not being listened to either. I mean, China has not bought a single soybean from the United States yet.
I know, and they're not gonna.
And they're not going to. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The Brazilians are out waving both hands, saying, "Donde es my soybeans?"
Yeah, and we gave it away. We gave it away. And believe me, there are farmers where we live, within miles of this house, who are getting crushed by this, who are screaming about a special carve out for them. It's I regret my vote because of this little piece that affects me directly. There's a woman over in Clinton, Illinois, I think we talked about her a few episodes ago, who runs a little tchotchke shop. And she's a nice Christian lady, been doing it for 30 years. You can go there and buy pants and beef jerky and whatever else. But she's talking about getting slammed by tariffs.
Yeah.
And all of her friends who are in the same retail business. And this was a film by the Illinois Retail Merchant Association, which is not exactly a hotbed of communist agitation. And she's beefing about tariffs. But at the very end of the video, she talks about politicians in Washington and everyone, all the people in power who are to blame for this. Like, honey, it ain't everybody.
No.
It's not everybody. And she can't make that last leap into it really is only one side. At this moment in history, it only is one side.
Yep.
And my financial interest conflicts with my social need to pretend it is.
Yeah.
Because at 10 o'clock in the morning in her tchotchke shop, she turns on Sean Hannity's radio station.
Absolutely, she does.
Or WMAY or whatever it is you're telling me about.
Yep.
And here's Clay Travis, and then, and next up is Chuck Todd coming to you at 10 a.m., 10 past the hour. Yeah, that was just a gift from the gods of content, I gotta say.
I'll tell you what, I have never missed Art Bell more.
He was fun. Art Bell was fun.
I loved Art Bell. Are you kidding? I had a job where I had to drive home in the middle of the night from Connecticut, and Art Bell kept me entertained the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
And including that weird space of time where he claimed the government had kidnapped him.
Wow.
And he had George Norrie or somebody sit in for him for like a year.
Well, and I believe one of our guests today wrote an entire book about sort of the good old days of crackpots.
Yes, when crackpots were in their own field, and we could draw their good ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they were fun.
And leave the rest behind.
Yeah, but then they found out that there's a lot of money in.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's millions of dollars.
Which is a real shame.
They have their own TV networks. They have their own publishing houses.
And I blame Joe Pine for the whole thing, honestly.
Joe Pine. Yeah. There we go. Or he came before Morton Downey Sr., right?
Oh, yeah. He was L.A. And you know what he was doing? He was doing Charlie Kirk stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was inviting people to a microphone and then berating them for being, stupid.
Yeah.
And it really was.
As I recall, they had a couple of outbreaks of physical violence on his show.
They did. They absolutely did. And he sat there smoking, and he invited guests on, all kinds of different guests. But his thing was, basically my opinion will prevail because I own the microphone. And he was sort of the origin point, the patient zero of this entire kind of confrontational, but we're going to pretend it's a debate, but it's not really a debate because I'm just going to, I'm going to blow you away because I'm really good at this and you're not.
Right.
And you can just see, you can draw a straight line. There's Downey, and then you get to something like, I don't know what the equivalent would be, but there used to be really good television that involved journalists talking to politicians. There used to be Meet the Press back in the day.
I think that, and I've always thought that PBS, and maybe they can't, maybe there's some contractual reason they can't, really missed the boat on fundraising for not putting out a DVD collection of Firing Line.
Oh, yeah.
Because William Buckley everybody was on that show.
Yep.
Malcolm X was on that show.
Yep.
That's how you do it. Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
And I was stunned. I read, I might have been after Buckley died, actually, but I read a story which listed the guests who had been on Firing Line, and I was just stunned James Baldwin. I mean, these are people who would never get on a talk show today.
Yep. No, I there was also something they did with, I want to say Charles Ogletree was part of it. It was a semicircle of, they had C. Everett Koop, they had Anthony Scalia, people like that debating like journalism generally and the law generally. And it really was, I mean, half the people there I would disagree with quite vehemently, but it was a truly kind of Socratic exercise in talking about civic issues that was fascinating. Mm-hmm. It was riveting. The audience loved it. I loved it. Maybe I'm just a nerd, but it is possible to do that. That is not an impossible thing. It's just that it's too expensive and it's too taxing, I guess. It's cheaper just to put some asshole in front of a microphone, right? And let him scream about, the dirty commies on the left.
Right. I just, it's just, it became cheap. It became very cheap radio programming.
Yeah.
And I fault liberals and the Democrats for not seeing its potential when the equal time provisions fell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Republicans grabbed onto that with both hands.
Yep.
And they had an insurmountable lead in that medium.
The AM radio. Yeah.
They had an insurmountable lead in that medium for 30 years now. Yeah. I thought the Democrats were going to be able to even out with how far ahead they were on the internet, but the Republicans have caught up on that.
Yeah.
Simply because they've had the money to do it.
While I'm here with two virile men, let's talk about the manosphere for a minute. And what is the way forward with male voters?
Well, we could forbid them from voting for a cycle or two and see if that works.
That's a thought.
Yeah.
That's a thought. Well, I'll just I
don't want to
vote anymore.
How about we just count as...
I'm sorry. You'll have to drop your pants and we'll have to see if you can vote.
Yeah. I think maybe just make us 3/5 of a citizen to start.
There you go.
Hey, there we go. That's all. That worked before.
It worked great.
White men are 3/5 of a vote.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. I mean, I know who I talk to. I know how to talk. I can go in front of various audiences and say things and make myself clearly understood. I have my notes, but I don't. I don't talk sports, and half of that is what they do. And I don't think their interests align with mine. I think you have to be someone who is of that generation.
Well, I mean, I can talk sports. I can talk sports with anybody, but I can't get through to these people anyway. I mean, I can defuse a political discussion that's starting to get loud by saying how about them Red Sox, but I can't. It doesn't give me an entree to the way these people think. I mean, there's a bunch of scared ninnies sharing my gender right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they manifest their fear in terribly destructive ways. I mean, have you read the kid who shot or allegedly killed Charlie Kirk? Mm-hmm. He's more concerned about what his dad's going to be mad at him for losing the gun.
Losing Grandpa's gun. Yes. Yes.
I mean, how the hell do you get through somebody like that?
And that's the thing he's worried about. Not that he took a life.
Right. Not that there's a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old who are never going to know their father.
Right. Mm-hmm. But that's not a concern. Grandpa's going to be mad.
Grandpa's going to be mad because I lost the gun. I mean, come on.
Lost the gun. Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. So Charlie, I'm sorry, Driftglass.
That's okay.
My daughter, who we call middle child, wants the two of us, because I love NFL football on a Sunday afternoon. I find it good knitting time.
It's excellent knitting time. Yes,
because if something happens, I can just lift my eyes back to the TV and they'll replay instantly what just happened, so I don't miss anything. They show it again, so I just wait. I just knit and listen, and when they hear something happen, I look up and they play it again. But my daughter wants the two of us to go all in on one NFL team and do the face paint and the jersey, and it just as a social fun thing to do. And my only requirement is that it be a Midwest team.
Okay, so you've got the Packers, the Bears, the Vikings.
We would include the Browns. Cleveland.
All right,
would
the
include.
Browns, the Browns, the Bengals, and do you want to include the St. Louis Rams?
Yeah, and we would include Kansas City.
Okay, all right.
So what do you think?
Well, I don't know the ownerships. The problem with the NFL is all their owners are scum.
Yeah.
The Packers are still, a socialist organization.
Yes.
They're still owned by stockholders.
Yeah.
So you've got that. The Bears are probably too obvious.
Yeah. And also may not win.
That's true. They may stink
Possibly
too,
may not win.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the Browns are a mess and will always be a mess. So I don't think you want to get too close to them. I'd say the Packers are I can't get with the Chiefs because the Hunts used to own them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they tried to corner the silver market and probably killed JFK.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't
Allegedly.
I don't want
Allegedly.
What? Allegedly. Yes.
Packers.
The Bengals. I assume the Bengals are still owned by the Browns, and they're the Brown family. But I don't know. I don't know if they're just incompetent or what.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does your team have to win occasionally?
I think Middle Child would like them to win from time to time. Yeah.
Let me, and this is where I have to sit Middle Child down and explain a few things about life. Consider me your own personal ditka. In life, honey, if you're from Chicago or have spent a quarter of your life in Chicago and become a Chicagoan by osmosis, you don't expect to win.
No.
At all.
The Bears are the Bears.
But
right?
Michael Jordan was a gift from God.
Yeah.
That just happened.
Yeah.
And sidebar, I went to high school with I forgot his name. Craig Hodges. So I came up with Craig Hodges, which is why I was not on the basketball team in my high school, because that was the level of talent they had. I had none of it. But and Steve Fisher was our coach, so it was kind of a little bit of a powerhouse Midwest organization. I was over on the debate team.
Yeah. Steve Fisher, the guy from Michigan?
Yeah, that guy.
Wow.
Was our high school basketball coach. Rich East High School, which doesn't exist anymore in Park Forest, Illinois. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
want to stay away from the Browns because they're owned by Jimmy Haslam, the price fixing, what do they call Speedway, the guy who runs all the truck stops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you want to get rid. You don't want to deal with him. The Lions are still owned by the Fords.
Okay.
I think they've cleaned their act up a little bit.
But it sounds to me like Driftglass is, as the pater familias of our household, is saying we got to go with the Bears.
Look, if you got to go with the winner, you will never understand the heart and soul of being the second city. You just never will. and like I said, Michael Jordan, was a great player, great basketball. I enjoyed him while he was there. But it was this false dawn of victory for Chicago. Like, now we're going to win everything. I still have my T-shirt directly above me, my Bears Super Bowl T-shirt, a phenomenon never to be repeated in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So it is more about finding a team that you just give yourself over to.
Yeah.
Right.
And accept that losing. I mean, what was it? The Bleacher Bums, that the stage play from Chicago. It's about losing, man. It's about losing with your friends and being with your friends in the bleachers. That's
and the year that the Cubs won the World Series, Trump won the presidency for the first time. So
it's a sign. No.
Yeah.
I now in politics it's entirely different. I want to win. I want to win all the time, every time.
Yep.
I want the best guys to be on my team, and I want the team to crush the opposition, send them away in tears.
Hear the lamentations of their women.
That's right. Exactly. Thank you, Conan. I really do appreciate that. But in sports, I never got the bug.
You want to be one of the guys, though. I mean, you want to be
exactly.
Like you want to be with a bunch of people you like.
Yeah,
sharing an enthusiasm.
Yeah. Preferably at a bar.
And having your heart broken together. That's the point too.
That's the point. So there's much of life in that, and lessons in that, but victory is not one of them.
Yeah.
And
when you had the Red Sox and the Cubs winning World Series within about 8 years of each other.
Yeah.
All the mystery of life went out.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But it was glorious. And the White Sox, too. Don't forget the White Sox.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Everyone else does.
But that's Obama's team. Yeah. Yeah.
And the Pope.
And
Oh
the
God,
Pope.
how did we ever get away from the red hats? Yeah,
Yeah, the Pope.
you
The
asked
Pope
me.
who had a hip hop group sing at the Vatican with John Legend last week. Yeah,
Yep.
amazing.
Well, and Darlin, you asked about 7 hours ago when we were talking on this podcast about the advice you would give to Democrats, and I just say the first thought was pray, pay, and obey. Those are the three things you gotta do. So,
and you and I at Driftglass have talked a lot in the past week about Merck's Law.
Yes, we have.
Democrats are the only ones who are mature and have any agency
and have agency, right?
Right.
And I think I have seen many examples on social media of Democrats falling for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time for us to call that out when we see it, particularly in front of young people who are likely to think that everything's awful is the way to go.
Right. Well, and you know, as in sports, Blue Gal, sometimes you got to get your heart broken a few times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have to sort of not give up your ideals, not give up your beliefs, certainly not give up whatever faith you have, but sort of focus on what is achievable given the resources you have. What's the hand you have and what's the best way to play it?
Yeah.
And when I heard people just screaming, I was working at Columbia College at the time. I worked with a lot of college students, a lot of lefty college students who were just furious with Barack Obama because we didn't get Medicare for all. We didn't get, you know, and I'm like, dude, because that's what we were promised. He promised the world, and we got this shitty deal that's not good, and blah, blah, blah. And it's hard to explain that, you know, there's a whole machine designed to keep you from what you need. And it's well-funded, and it's loud, and it's been around for a long time, and fighting your way to getting half of what you want is an entire presidential term for a person who wants to govern with any decency at all. And you're going to have to get your heart broken, and then you have to get back in the trenches, and knowing that it sucks. You have to, but again, I think I agree. I definitely agree with Charlie Pierce. When you see someone who's a natural political talent, who really has the stuff, and you can tell, like, well, the late Robert Redford. This guy was a movie star from the day he was born.
Right.
He was born to be this guy, and he lived that role. When you see natural political talent, you gravitate towards it. This is exciting. This person, you know, I'll walk through hell for this person. Yeah. And I wish we had more of those people. I don't know how to breed them or groom them or grow them, but I'm willing to settle for just a really competent billionaire governor of Illinois for the time being.
Right. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that, you know?
No.
Yeah. You know, I think all of my favorite Democratic politicians now except for my senior senator, are governors.
I think, yeah. Isn't that weird?
Andy Beshear, Wes Moore, even Gavin Newsom, although I have enormous problems with some of the things he's done. These are all good guys. These are all charismatic guys in their own. Pritzker is a charismatic guy.
He is.
He's big and he's dumpy, but he's a charismatic guy.
Yes.
You know, and I guess Beshear is too, although I don't know him that well. I know Wes Moore is because I've seen him in a crowd. You know, maybe that's the way to go. Maybe the way to go isn't going. You know, there hasn't been a member of the House elected president since Garfield. There hasn't been a senator elected since JFK. Oh, I guess
Obama.
There's been one since JFK. Yeah. The Republicans have not been shy about nominating governors and ex-governors.
No, George W. Bush,
Romney.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
I say, and the thing about people like with the governors, especially people like Pritzker, they never see him coming.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like Robert Redford.
Right.
You know, he's not Ronald Reagan. He doesn't have the TV.
He doesn't look like Wallace Beery. Are you kidding?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. But once he gets going, it's like, oh, okay, all right.
You know, he came here and delivered a speech to I can't remember what organization, and they practically tore the building down.
Yeah.
Never saw him coming.
He, at the Democratic, it was the DNC meeting. DNC leadership meeting, where that was the one where he said, may Republicans never know a moment's peace for going along with Trump on immigration. And yeah.
And for that sort of vile language,
that was the vile language. That was the vile language that caused the Illinois Freedom Caucus to want to impeach over vile language. That was the vile lange.
How many people are in the? Are there just two guys in the Freedom Caucus?
Pretty much.
I think there's
not many.
Well, I mean, it's already a supermajority for Democrats,
right?
And if the leadership of the Republican Party is not in on this, then I'm guessing there's about 12 or 15, and and the district, Mary Miller's district, is R plus 20.
Yeah.
So they're just freaking nuts. I mean, really.
Because we gerrymander in Illinois. And that's flat out. We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we invented it. I mean, I can show you. If you ever come to Boston, I can take you to the Massachusetts Historical Society and show you the original cartoon of the gerrymander.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, you spent some time in Boston, my dear.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I was there for 14 years. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that. Mm-hmm. Where were you at?
I went to Brandeis, like your son.
Like my son, exactly.
And graduated in 85. And then I stayed there until 96. So worked for the Christian Science Monitor not as a writer or as a subscription person, but.
Did you go to any other universities in the greater Boston area, honey?
I went to Harvard Divinity School.
Yeah.
Yes. We don't talk about that.
No.
Yeah, but that's a heavyweight credential. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I want to see
among people who, add up heavyweight credentials.
I really want to see Blue Gal and John Fugelsang again team up. I
interviewed him 15 years ago, so I should got a book out. I should talk to him.
But you know what? In the answer not to the manosphere, but there is a ground on which we can fight.
Yeah.
The decent, honorable Christian versus the lying scumbag Christian. The lying scumbag grifters own most of the real estate, but it's the real estate on which a surprising number of people feel comfortable fighting because they've seen what bad theology has done to their country.
I think there's also a way to reach out to the manosphere. The latest welfare queen is the guy who sits in his room playing video games on the right. The Republicans are trying to take healthcare away from people with the argument that, they're just playing video games all day.
Right. Yeah.
And that's
their argument. That's their argument about Medicaid cuts too.
Yeah. Yes. Medicaid cuts it's video game players. Mm-hmm. And you talk about the Republican Party thinks you're bad for playing video games. They don't want you to have sex. And they want to boss you around when it comes to marijuana.
Mm-hmm. Right. They want to take it all back.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So why are you for them? Because you think that makes you a man? Oh, all right. Anything else you want to talk about today, Charlie Pierce?
No, I am doing fine, and I'm going to have to get back to work here. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, are you working on a book?
I am not working on a book at the moment, but we are ping-ponging ideas back and forth, me and my agent. So
I am very glad to hear that. I really am.
Glad you were with us on the battalions in the field.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's and as Molly Ivins used to say, freedom fighting should be fun.
Yes. If I can't dance, I don't want to be part of your revolution.
That's something I think the Democrats have lost, and they have to get back.
I thank you for invoking Molly Ivins. I mean, really, that sort of joy in the fight is sadly lacking.
It's very hard when Trump is president to have joy.
But at the same time, he's the most mockable person in the history of American politics.
Yeah, and on his hands, it's actually falling off. So,
Oh, God. Yeah, I know.
All right. Peace, brother.
Okay.
Thank you very much for everything.
See you later.
Take care. Bye-bye.
We had a wonderful time with Mr. Charlie Pierce of the Esquire, a hero of mine, a writer of great renown.
We're going to let the Internet Kitties take the week off. And we will see you guys next week. And Driftglass is on the broadcast this afternoon.
Oh, yes. In about 3 hours.
3 hours.
Mhm.
And we will see you guys next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Let's think about living. Think about living. Let's think about loving. Think about loving. Let's think about the hooping and the hopping and the popping and the lovey-dovey. Let's forget about the wine and the crying, the shooting and the dying, and the fellow with the switchblade knife. Let's think about living. Let's think about life.
The Professional Left podcast is recorded under a Creative Commons license. Copyright 2024-25, GGBG Productions.